Dan Hooker has just fired a major warning shot at Arman Tsarukyan following the chaos in the lightweight division after Ilia Topuria knocked out Charles Oliveira to capture the title. The UFC has now confirmed Hooker versus Arman for UFC Qatar, and Hooker isn't holding anything back. In a recent interview with Submission Radio, he vowed to hurt Arman, slice him up, and smash him with elbows. But Hooker's not stopping there. He already has his eyes on the champion, Ilia Topuria, calling that the big fight and even pushing for a potential showdown on a Spain-Marbella card. The real question now, fight fans, is how do you rate Hooker's chances against Arman? On paper, it's a classic striker versus wrestler matchup. Arman's relentless with his grappling, but Hooker has proven he can handle that style before. People forget he already defeated Matteo Gamrot, another wrestling-heavy fighter. MMA math doesn't always add up, but it shows Hooker is more than capable of shutting down top-level grapplers and making it a gritty fight. If he can stuff takedowns, create distance, and land those elbows he's promising, there's a real chance he derails Arman's momentum. Hooker said, "I don't like the guy. I don't know much about him, but I hate everything he represents. I can't wait to crack him with an elbow." From what I heard, Arman was offered Gamrot while I was suspended, and he turned it down. I knew eventually the fight would land on me because no one ranked below wants him, and no one ranked above me would risk it. The fight had to come together. People in the division try to avoid him. Even the champ doesn't want that fight, which honestly makes sense. Fighters want the matchups that benefit them most.
I don't like the bloke. I don't know anything about him, but I hate everything he stands for. Can't wait to elbow him in the nose. I heard that Arman was officially offered Gamrot when I was suspended, and he turned that down. And so and I knew full well that between Gamrot and myself, Gamrot and Arman, there's no one ranked. He doesn't want to fight anyone lower, and I knew that no one ranked in front of me would want the fight, would want to risk that position. So I knew that the fight would come together eventually, just because purely I know that a lot of people try to avoid him in the division. You know, the champ, I feel like, doesn't want that fight, which it makes a lot of sense to a lot of other people. To look for the fight that makes the most sense for them.
Conor McGregor has officially declared his fight with Michael Chandler as signed and sealed. According to Conor himself, the deal is done. No negotiations, no doubts, completely finalized. McGregor says he'll compete at the White House, claiming Dana White and the UFC have been working closely with him on another massive business move. But here's where it gets interesting. Conor hasn't fought since breaking his leg against Justin Poirier in 2021. Now he's saying the deal includes $100 million and 100 US golden visas for his family and inner circle. Fans are already skeptical. Is this really a UFC deal or just vintage McGregor hype? Because while he insists it's official, the idea of Dana White signing off on golden visas and a 9-figure payday for a White House card sounds almost too wild to believe. Big John McCarthy and Josh Thompson weighed in, saying the fight will eventually happen regardless, since the UFC has already sunk massive promotional resources into it. Michael Chandler will be 40 years old by the time the White House event happens. The UFC has invested heavily in this rivalry. The Ultimate Fighter season, the build-up, and multiple reschedulings. They've committed too much to let it fizzle out. But Chandler's age combined with his long wars makes fans question how much he has left.
Michael Chandler will be 40 years of age come that White House event.
Will he be?
40. He's 39 now.
Oh, is he? I thought he was 38, 37, 38.
He's 30. He's 39. I believe his birthday's in April. I'm not sure. April or...
That's kind of creepy that you know his birthday.
Yep, 39. Yep.
Creepy. Yeah,
stalker. Creepy. Stalker. I look and, the UFC has put marketing into this fight for how long? They did the whole tough. They did the build up. They almost had the fight, and then Conor ended up pulling out. So, they've done all this marketing. I can understand why the UFC looks at it.
After Hooker vs. Arman was announced, talk immediately shifted to Ilia Topuria's first title defense, and many believe it could be against longtime rival Paddy Pimblett. Arman himself has hinted that the UFC is pushing Ilia vs. Paddy, leaving Justin Gaethje waiting on the sidelines. Now, Topuria has fueled the fire by publicly warning Paddy that he plans to take his head off and finally end their feud. This rivalry traces back years, with Topuria still angry over Paddy's controversial comments about Georgia and Russia. Ilia went as far as to say that if he runs into Paddy on the street, it could get violent right then and there. The UFC is reportedly considering slotting this fight as the 2026 kickoff event, giving El Matador the honor of headlining Paramount's first big card of the year. One complication, Ilia's brother Alexandre also has a fight scheduled around the same time, and the brothers traditionally don't fight on the same card so they can focus on each other's camps. Still, this rivalry looks set to become one of the division's biggest storylines. Topuria on Paddy Pimblett. He had hype for a moment, but let's be real, the quality isn't there. Don't compare me to that bum. We're on different levels and everyone sees it now. He disrespected me, my country, and my people. He joked about our war with Russia, saying things that crossed the line. If we ever meet outside the cage, I'll take his head off. He built hype by mocking people, and that won't end well for him.
His hype was like momentáneo. In the moment, he has a lot of hype, this and that, but the quality of the fighter he is, man, come on, please. Don't even compare me to that boom, because we are on different levels, and everyone can see that, see it now, that we are on different levels. He was very disrespectful to me, to my country, to all my people, and he just behaved like a fucking idiot, you know. He started to talk about the war we had against Russia, and that he said something. Now I understand why the Russians put the bombs in Georgia. When you start to joke about that kind of things, just make sure that we don't find each other anywhere, because I'm gonna take your fucking head off. You know what I mean? He wants to build his hype laughing on people.
While most of the MMA world is expecting Topuria versus Paddy, Michael Bisping thinks Justin Gaethje might actually get the shot. His reasoning? Gaethje has openly said he'll retire if he doesn't get the title fight. Dana White, however, wasn't impressed, saying if a fighter is already thinking about retirement, he probably shouldn't be competing. Still, Ilia versus Paddy feels like the bigger fight at the moment, both in star power and in style. But whether it's Gaethje's destructive violence or Paddy's relentless chaos, either matchup guarantees fireworks. The lightweight division has never been this stacked. It's really down to Gaethje or Paddy. Bisping says if he had to bet, Gaethje will get it because of his resume and the fact that he's earned another shot. He's the human highlight reel, delivering fight of the year contenders nearly every time. Regardless of who Topuria faces, one thing's certain, he has to fight soon. After vacating the featherweight belt, going undefeated, and positioning himself as arguably the pound-for-pound best in the sport, fans won't wait forever.
I don't know, because you've still got Justin Gaethje out there as well, and Justin Gaethje has made it very, very clear that he wants a title fight. Well, it's a 50-50 now. Arman's out of the equation. It's either Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett. If I was a gambling man, I would say Ilia's going to end up fighting Justin Gaethje, simply because of time served, simply because the man deserves it. He is the human highlight reel. Yes, he's had 2 title fights in the past, and a 3rd title fight is hard to come by, but the man's been there, done it, got it all. He's put on fight of the year contenders almost every single time he fights, and I think he fights for the belt next, because Ilia Topuria has to fight at some time, okay? He's the reigning champion, and if he doesn't fight, then he will get stripped. Of course, he vacated the featherweight belt. He's undefeated. He's probably the pound-for-pound greatest fighter in all of the sport right now. Come at me in the comment section if you want to, but that's just my personal opinion.
That's all for today's update. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss your daily dose of MMA news.